Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about something. I've already discussed budget laptops. I believe one of the best budget laptops personally is the Dell E6500 with the Core 2 Duo with 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now you can find these machines for less than $100. Some actually do have operating systems and hard drives, and they're decent machines. There's no doubt about it. But like I said in my last video on budget laptops, my girlfriend's laptop and mine are different in different ways. Mine did come with Windows Vista. Now this is actually the second E6500 that I have personally owned. That's not counting my girlfriend's. I did donate one to a family that was in need after I got this one. I donated my other one to a family. That one did come with Windows 7, and this one did come with Vista, but it does now have Windows 7 on it. Okay, what I wanted to talk to you about, if somebody gives you an old laptop and the device drivers just aren't working for like your Wi-Fi card. The Wi-Fi card is the biggest issue when it comes to Linux. My laptop, my E6500, has a different Wi-Fi card than hers. Somebody did replace hers. Linux does not pick her card up at all. There are a couple ways to do this to get her card working, or a workaround. One, I can always install Windows on her computer or laptop, which this is a total separate hard drive. I do have Windows and Linux installed on her laptop on a different drive. I put a new drive in, put Linux on it, strictly and only Linux, to show you. Because some people will run into this issue and they won't even think about how simple something can be. Now, if you don't want Windows, or if you get a laptop with Windows pre-installed, not Windows, but Linux pre-installed, and your card does not show up, you can install Windows drivers on Linux. I 100% advise against that. They are complete different operating systems. That is hard to do, and sometimes it will work and sometimes it won't work. You can always install Windows and try to find the drivers that way. If you can't and you are stuck with Linux, then what you need to do is get a Wi-Fi stick or replace your Wi-Fi card. Now if you don't know anybody that can tear your laptop apart to pull that card out and replace it, I advise you do it this way. This is the simplest way, probably one of the cheapest ways. As you can tell, I have not adjusted anything on Linux. I just got done putting it on. The computer is already asleep. The laptop is. Let me get over here and show you. I will try to stay out of the way as much as possible. Okay, now if I turn her Wi-Fi card on, nothing. There will be nothing here. It will go straight to enable networking. It's checked in VPN connections, nothing. Alright, so we know the Wi-Fi card does not work with Linux. So you have a couple options. Like I said, you could always install Windows drivers on Linux. That is a really bad idea. That gives viruses, malware, all kinds of things a backdoor into your Linux operating system. Even though there are some things that can hit Linux, it's very rare, few and far between where a virus or malware will hit Linux. That's why Linux, you don't need an antivirus for it. Now let's get back to talking about this. What I have is an old D-Link card. I have talked about this before. It's a USB. Now when we purchased this, I believe it was around $20. Most D-Link cards are Linux compatible. So if you buy a D-Link card, most likely it's Linux compatible. And it doesn't have to be a new one. I mean, it can be something that's 5, 10 years old in most cases. Now I want you to see something. I put the card in. Absolutely nothing. It is doing nothing. I go down here, click on the Wi-Fi symbol. Nothing. But here it says Wi-Fi is disabled by hardware switch. This is where most people screw up when they install Linux. If you have a external Wi-Fi card, most people forget one simple thing, and that's turn your Wi-Fi on. The way Linux is set up, even if you have an internal card and it doesn't pick it up, when you turn this switch on, because I did turn it back off, I plugged that in and I'm going to turn this on, and right there, all of a sudden Wi-Fi networks are available. Now I did not update this Linux. I just installed it. I didn't go online with it. I haven't gone online with it. So this is a brand new install of Linux. Connection established. This is exactly is where most people screw up when they install an external card with Linux. They forget the one major thing. They forget to turn on their Wi-Fi switch. If your laptop has a Wi-Fi switch, what it does is Linux, once you turn it on, Linux will skip the internal hardware on the Wi-Fi and go to the external. That switch has to be on. I can leave that in all day long, and I can turn it off and on right here. If I turn the switch off, disconnected, you're offline. Turn it back on. Now I don't have this, like I said, I don't have everything established. Connection right there, established. So I don't have everything set up. This has not been updated in any way. You see the update manager here. Like I said, this is a fresh install of Linux Mint. I did install Mate. I will overwrite this hard drive. This is an extra hard drive I have. It's 160 gigabytes. But now you see, there's the audio. Now you see enable Wi-Fi is actually checked here. I hope you can see that, which is right here. Now, since this is a new install, nothing has been updated. Nothing has been added. No plugins. Nothing is installed. And there you go. And from here, you can do Google searches. You can go to your, change your home page over here in the corner. I wanted to make this video because some people will get a hold of old laptops like this, whether it has Windows XP, Vista, Windows 7, and this. Of course, her laptop has Windows 7 and Linux Mint installed as a dual boot system. But if you have an old laptop that came with Windows XP, somebody gave it to you. Or you buy one offline. Check Linux Mint, because XP, a lot of sites will not let you go online with XP. Even Vista and Windows 7 is going to be pretty much killed early 2020 in January. So if you already have Windows on there, my advice is to make a dual boot system. I've already done a video on like dual triple boot systems, how to set it up. But if you get your hands on a laptop with Linux, a lot of times it's something simple like turning on your Wi-Fi switch to get it to work, even if you have to add an external Wi-Fi card. And once again, if I turn it on right here, the hardware, the little switch, it's connected. Turn it off, disconnect it. Now if I take this out, and I turn that on, nothing. Her Wi-Fi card is not compatible with Linux. Perhaps there's a workaround for that, other than installing Windows drivers. I'm sure if you knew how to use command prompt and you know, all this other stuff that they have you doing for the older versions of Linux, you may be able to get it to work. But just because it comes with Linux, even if your Wi-Fi card doesn't work, think about the cheaper way to go. One, if your laptop can have Windows installed on it, it's going to cost you money, especially if you don't have the stuff to do it. Two, device drivers have to be updated. Three, Windows XP, Windows Vista are gone. Windows 8 is gone. Windows 7 will be gone at the beginning of next year. So even if you put an older version of Windows on it, the chances of Microsoft actually updating that for you are zero, none, zilch. So you will do it without security updates, without service packs, without Visual CC. A lot of that stuff you can find online as far as like the Visual CC redistributive. In some cases you can even find DirectX. But service packs, security updates, all that stuff is you won't be able to get. So you have a choice. Install Windows, which may or may not be able to be used at all. Find device drivers for older hardware, which you may or may not be able to find. Or use Linux from a stick, a flash drive. And even then, if your Wi-Fi card doesn't pick up, you have to have an external Wi-Fi stick, that's the cheapest way to go. Or have somebody rip apart your laptop and install a Wi-Fi card in your laptop for you. One, that's a shop you're going to have to take it to unless you know what you're doing. At least be smart about it. So you're going to have to buy a new Wi-Fi card if you can find one that fits your make and model. You're going to have somebody install it. That's going to cost you money. And when I'm talking about things like a budget laptop, like I did in my last video on the laptop, you know, the Dell E6500 series, the Core 2 Duo, 4 gigs of RAM, is an excellent laptop. Like I said, this is my third one is over there. This is my girlfriend's first one as far as the E6500 series. And it's going to sleep again because, like I said, it's brand new install. I don't have anything set up. Nothing's been updated on this, and I will not update it. I just wanted to show you the Wi-Fi card and how easy it is. If you have Linux, this is the cheapest way to go, is to get an external Wi-Fi card. But most people forget one thing. When they plug their Wi-Fi card in, they forget to turn on their Wi-Fi switch. To get your external Wi-Fi card to work, you have to turn on that Wi-Fi switch. So that will activate the hardware. Other than that, you can plug that stick in all day long and it will do absolutely nothing. Even after you get it installed. If I plug this in, now the light's blinking, but I've got my Wi-Fi switch on. I just unplugged it. The switch was still on. So if I leave my Wi-Fi switch on all the time, all I have to do is plug it in and unplug it. If I turn my switch off, there it goes. Nothing. Enable Wi-Fi is shaded out. Turn the switch on, and there it is. Like I said, this is the easiest way, and just leave your Wi-Fi on and just unplug it. That's the easiest way. That's the cheapest way. If you have Linux, an older computer with Linux, this does work on her computer too, this Wi-Fi card, this external. Look for D-Link cards as D-Link. They are some of the best ones to use with Linux. But if you do have a Wi-Fi card and it doesn't work, before you just throw it away and trash your laptop, try making sure when you plug that in that Wi-Fi switch is turned on. That's a mistake most people have, is they forget to turn on that switch. So, like I said, I just want to talk about this. This is a problem that a lot of people will probably run into. I could, of course, find a new Wi-Fi card for my girlfriend's laptop that will match mine, and Linux will pick it up immediately. But like I said, in some cases, Linux has a hard time picking up that Wi-Fi card. There are different ways to do this. If you can find an old laptop that matches yours or is pretty close, where the cards are interchangeable, then you can always switch the Wi-Fi card. You know, look online, see if somebody has some junk laptops. Go to a recycling facility center that uses or sells computer parts, and you may be able to find a Wi-Fi card that will match or fit in your system. And like I said, there's absolutely nothing on here. But if you go to Control Center, Package Manager, Software Center, all this other stuff on Linux, it does different things. I've talked about that. And this is Linux Mint 19.1 Tessa Mate version, not Cinnamon, but Mate. I do have Cinnamon. My girlfriend prefers Mate. It has more of a Windows XP feel to it. But once again, if you're having problems with your Wi-Fi on Linux, there are a few things you can try. One, reinstall Windows. Even if it has an old version of Windows XP, you can reinstall Windows. And then try that. Or try to upgrade your Windows. If your computer can't be upgraded, or if you don't have any version of Windows whatsoever, then try running Linux from the USB stick. You can make and put Linux on USB. You can download Linux. Most of these are 100% free. Get you an external Wi-Fi stick. But before you go, if it comes in the mail, if you get one that's $5, $10, $15, and you plug it in and it's not doing anything and it doesn't show connections, make sure your Wi-Fi button is turned on and see if that helps for you. 99% of the time that will help you. Once again, I'm not telling you run out and buy a Wi-Fi card or anything else. If you have something Linux will pick up, use it. But if you have a Wi-Fi card on your machine that Linux doesn't see, it's not compatible. And in some cases, you're going to have a problem even with Windows finding device drivers for that. Like I said, I'm not going to do a video on how to install Windows drivers on Linux. There are numerous videos on that. One, is extremely confusing. Two, it's hard to do. And three, that can open up your Linux operating system to a whole slew of problems, including viruses and malware. Most things like that target Windows. That's why Linux is one of the safer operating systems. But I wanted you to see, if you have an external Wi-Fi card, or if you get one, and you plug it in and it does absolutely nothing, make sure the Wi-Fi switch is turned on your laptop. That could be your one problem right there that most people don't even think about. In fact, I turned this on, I plugged it in the other day, a different hard drive that I will put back in here. It already has Windows, already has Linux installed. And I was actually going to show this the other day on a video about budget laptops. And I forgot to turn on the Wi-Fi switch. So I remade the entire video and I left that part out. And yet, the other day our Wi-Fi was acting up. It's been going in and out for the past month and a half. So I never know when I'm going to be able to upload stuff online or even download stuff or even watch stuff online. But since I left that out, I wanted to add this. So even if you buy a laptop without a hard drive that boots to BIOS for $50 with free shipping, and you buy a hard drive, you don't have to buy a 1 terabyte hard drive. You can buy a 320 gig, you can buy a 750, you can buy a 500 gig hard drive. Some of those hard drives are less than $20 with free shipping. And they're new, brand new. So if you, say, spend $50 on a used laptop, just like this, a Dell E6500, a brand new hard drive, and it doesn't have to be a terabyte, it can be 320 gigs, it can be 160 gigs, it doesn't matter. As long as it's enough room for you and enough space for you. And then you put Linux on it, and that Wi-Fi card is not compatible and doesn't work. Say even if you had to kick out another $25 for a Wi-Fi stick, a D-Link, that's still under $100 for a good working laptop with a brand new hard drive, a new operating system that you can get for free, and Wi-Fi if you need it. Now, even with Linux, if I plug this into the LAN with a LAN cable, it would work. I would have to install, put in all the information, just like I do with Wi-Fi, but it would work. It's just Wi-Fi is so much easier. You don't want to have to reconfigure everything every time you hook up to a LAN port. And, like I say, Wi-Fi is easier to use. You can take Wi-Fi with you anywhere you go. You don't have to just leave it at home. And there we go. It went to sleep again. And yeah, I know I keep talking about the Dell E6500s. Like I said, mine right now is my third E6500. My girlfriend has E6500. I've already given I've given two away of these 6500s. I've also given away a compact Rosario. I have some videos on that I got my hands on, and I got it up and working for a family. As you can tell, we're not rich. We don't have much. Everything we buy is budget. The camcorder I'm recording this on, literally, I paid $10 for it. It's a VHS camcorder that takes VHS tapes. I had to buy an extra cable for the AV cable because it wasn't long enough to reach where I had to go. I had to buy 25 foot of that. I probably could have got away with 15 foot. It needs a new battery, so it has to be plugged in at all times. But I paid $10 for it. So we know about buying things on a budget. And like I said, don't just give up. If you get a laptop where your Wi-Fi won't work on Linux and you have to use Linux, you can try to install Windows drivers. It's messy. A lot of times it doesn't work and it's hard to do. Or you can get an external Wi-Fi stick. But then a lot of people forget the one thing they need to do, which is turn on that Wi-Fi switch. Okay, this is long enough. I'm fixing to go from here. I'll have to get in the way to shut everything down. I do apologize for that. But once again, Linux is a good operating system. It's a free operating system. The Dell Latitudes are excellent little laptops. They're heavy duty. If you get one, make sure you get a Core 2 Duo with 4 gigs of RAM. Even if you have to put a hard drive in it, you can get a hard drive for $15, $20, maybe even cheaper sometimes. Depends on the size. The batteries to replace in the Dell Latitude E6500s cost anywhere from $10 to $14. You can even get RAM upgrades for less than $25 if that's what you want to do. So, but once again, her laptop is different Wi-Fi card, and that's why she has to use our D-Link stick. Unlike me, on my laptop, it automatically picks up my Wi-Fi card. But like I said, if you buy one for 50 bucks, even if you replace the hard drive or put a hard drive in it for 20, 25 at the most, if you're spending $100, you can find one of these D-Link sticks for less than 25 bucks, easily. So that gives you an entire working laptop. Alright, I'm fixing to go, and everyone have a good one. Wait, before I go, let's get midnight in here. As you can tell, all these wires, this is how I'm recording, right here. There is our TV stick. Coax cable is going into a coaxed AV adapter, and right here, let's see, there it is, and 25 foot of AV cable going into this camcorder. So anyway, if you're running across a problem with your Linux and your Wi-Fi, that's a few things you can try to do. Install Windows, get a different Wi-Fi card, or get an external Wi-Fi card. But just make sure you do not forget to turn your Wi-Fi on your laptop for that to work. Alright, everyone have a good day.